What's up, guys? This is Sam and Dave from Mallory Knox, and you're listening to Morgan Richards on Radio Cardiff.
Hey, I'm Morgan Richards from Radio Cardiff on 8.7 FM, and I'm very pleased to say I'm backstage at the Plas music venue here in Cardiff. I'm rejoined by a band whose heart and desire has them shouting at the moon like a lighthouse in the dark. It's of course those alt-rock beggars from Cambridge. It's the lovely Mallory Knox.
Might be the best intro we've ever had, mate.
That was excellent.
Oh, glad you enjoyed it.
I'm glad the effort you put into that. That's more effort that we've put into any of our songs ever.
So guys, you right?
Yes, mate. Yeah, very good. Thank you. Just doesn't feel like we're halfway through the tour, considering we played America for like 3 months.
Yeah, definitely.
Feels like we're just getting started. But no, yeah, it's good to be back in the UK and yeah, just having a good time, really.
So guys, a massive part of this year for you has been spent touring America for the first time. We've supported Sleeping with Sirens and Pierce the Veil, along with hitting the iconic Vans Warped Tour all across the States. I'm sure it's just been an incredible few months exploring a new territory and getting your music out over the pond.
Yeah, it's been something that we never thought, 5-6 years ago, we never thought we'd get the opportunity to do something like that, let alone on a tour as big as the World Tour with Pierce the Veil and Sleeping with Sirens. I mean, we were lucky enough to be playing to like 4,000 people a day, and it was just something like when you're that far from home, it's a lot to kind of take in and stuff. But yeah, like this year's just pretty much just been like doing that and kind of like seeing out, like living out dreams that we never thought was possible. So it's been really like enlightening on a personal level as well as like a professional level. Like, you see that your band's progressing in such a way, but at the same time, you get to visit places like Orlando and California, and you meet a lot of friends along the way. It's been very interesting.
And I know for a fact that you all really love having new challenges and exploring new countries, but how different have you found touring and the music industry in general in the States compared to the UK and Europe?
I think with America, it was almost like I think the same kind of goes for Europe as well. I'd start with saying by Europe, the few shows that we've had out there is that they're almost very happy for any band to like be watching any band, so no matter who you are, they're just very, very positive towards you. And with America, I think like the amount of bands that are like famous in America and stuff, they almost seem to be very much more like appreciative of a UK band or an Australian band. Just from my experience, like that you've travelled all that way, and that I think they like the fact that you're not American, so to speak. Do you know what I mean? But for me, like as much as I enjoy playing the US and Europe, like coming home is what it's all about, in the fact that we've been playing the UK now for like about 5 years, and to see how much we've grown over those years. Because when we started playing the UK, we were playing to like 10-20 people, Cardiff included, and then we come back tonight and there's like 1,000 tickets sold. That's for me what it's all about. And like as much as I've loved being in America and doing stuff over there, but to come home and to see that you've progressed that much off your own back, kind of thing, and play to like 1,000 people across the tour that are there to see you is just something that's really cool. And for me, that's kind of what it's all about.
But it's almost been quite emotional, really, especially like when we played our hometown shows and stuff like that. Like, I know a few of us actually welled up, and actually, I think I genuinely started crying my eyes out whilst I was on stage. But like, when you're over in America and stuff like that, like you're really like appreciative of people actually like taking the time to sort of listen to you and stuff like that, because obviously they've never really heard of you. Yeah. But when you get back to do this, like you really you realise just how special it can be.
Yeah, I think you hit a good point. I think Dave hits a good point in saying, like, when you come back to play a place like Cambridge, a place that you've grown up and where your family are there, and you've been away from home for that long playing shows, and you come back and all your family are there, and then they can see how much you've progressed in the time that you've been away. It kind of like hits home to them as well, and then it makes you kind of like proud of what you've achieved together as a band, so it's been great.
And as I've mentioned, you've recently just come off spending the summer as part of the Vans Warped Tour. I'm sure just doing that in general in itself was a dream come true, because it's always full of a lineup that so many of your favourite bands have been a part of throughout the years.
Yeah, I mean, first I ever heard of Warped Tour was when Blink sung about it in the rock show, and ever since then I've kind of like cottoned on to like the lineups over the years, even though there was no way I was ever going to go over there. You've always been intrigued to like see the lineup, so to be a part of it was pretty cool. But at the same time, that tour is like, it's such a strange thing to be a part of, because I know like of Reading and Leeds there's like 60 touring bands, but that's over the space of like 2 days. So if you can imagine what Reading and Leeds is like for 2 days, you have to like put that into 3 months. You're touring with 800 different people across America. Like it's such a massive scale. Like it's hard to believe that it actually comes off every day, that they actually get to do it. But like it was almost like going to summer school and like figuring out like what time you had to like, because you had to help with the load-ins at 8 in the morning. You get all this like rock star like mentality and all that crap, but like you have to get up at 8 in the morning, help with the load-in, help the guys set up the stage, like get up at 8, then find out at like 9 that you could be on stage at like 11 in the morning. Like, so you have no idea. Like every day is different. It's just a complete learning curve, and it's like such a unique way of touring. Like I don't think we can tour for like the next 10 years and nothing will be like that tour. So I'm glad we did it. Like I think we kind of cut our teeth all over again.
And of course, all of this has come from the great response of your second record, Asymmetry, that came out last year. But looking at everything you've done on this cycle now, do you feel that this album is really one that's really catapulted Mallory Knox to a bigger, important and different stage of your career?
I've never really looked at it in that way, I guess, but I think it was an album that like followed up our debut album kind of perfectly. In terms of like, I mean, we never wanted to write an album just to try and be mainstream or be poppy or, you know, be popular. We just wrote an album again that we wanted to hear. But I think if you try and rewrite your last album, that's when like you're kind of doomed to fail. So we just needed to get our heads on and say, we just need to write our favorite songs again. But I think if you give yourselves that chance over the space of 2 years, people's change, your music taste can change, personalities can change. So you'd be surprised at how different you are from 2 years ago anyway. Yeah. So if you just like believe in yourself and just like trust your own like ability to write songs, it's always going to be a bit different from the last album. Anyway, you don't have to strive to be different. You just need to like naturally let it happen. And I think that's what we did with this album. And because I remember when we started writing Asymmetry, we were like, oh, we need to write another Lighthouse. We need to make sure there's another song like Lighthouse. But that and we just started writing like nothing. It was just like average songs at the end of the day. And then once we kind of got rid of that and we kind of let ourselves be ourselves, it all started to kind of flow out. And I think it's done well for a second album. Everyone like said like, oh, the dreaded second album, how are you going to follow up? But we just like, once you like block that out and just like be like, we're going to be our favorite band again, it all came pretty naturally, you know. And yeah, I mean, well, it took us to like, we're doing Roundhouse in London, and that's something I never thought that we'd get to do off this album, you know. So it's crazy. You know, it's just all one big learning curve, man. But yeah, at the end of the day, you just have to like stay true to yourself and like not try and let yesterday affect tomorrow. Okay. That's such a good line.
Bloody hell. That was brilliant.
There you go. That's a new lyric. That's the next album.
And of course, with Asymmetry now being almost a year old, have you guys started really thinking about material for the next full-length studio record?
Oh, I don't know if I can answer that. No, we have started writing a few bits, but like we can't really go into it that much because they're still in sort of the very, very first stages of everything at the moment. So
we learned our lesson from last time, didn't we? With Signals, we literally, because we recorded the album in like January 2012, it didn't get released until January 2013. So for that year, we didn't write anything. So when it came writing for Asymmetry, we were like, oh, we've forgotten how to write. Yeah. So we kind of wanted to we didn't want to like leave it so long this time, but Asymmetry is like not even a year old yet. But we have started writing, but it's like it's so early, it's like impossible to predict where it's going to end up. But we've definitely got it in the back of our minds, kind of thing.
And with that now, what else can we really expect for the future of Mallory Knox?
This is kind of like, I wouldn't say it's like the signing off of Asymmetry. Like we did a headline tour when the album got released, and you know, and we've done a few festivals in the summer, but this album was kind of like to, I guess, celebrate the whole year that we've had Asymmetry out and stuff. But we'll start with the write. I mean, I think writing will get a bit more intense up around Christmas time and just after. And there's a couple of tours in the pipeline, not involving the UK, but like Europe and stuff. We're looking to go back to a few of those places, and then we were kind of quiet on the UK festival scene this year. I mean, we did download, but we just kind of like, you need to take a step back to allow yourselves to be like wanted again. You know, if you're up in people's faces all the time, people are going to get bored of you and sick of you. So like, we're not like going to disappear. We're just going to like try and start writing the best next album we can, but at the same time be like, we want to hit the festivals next year hard and stuff like that. And we're not going to disappear. Do you know what I mean? But we're going to take writing very seriously.
Okay, well, brilliant. Well, that's about it. Cheers, guys, for taking time out to have a catch up with me.
That's all right, man. Thank you. Yeah.
No worries. Best of luck now with everything in the near future, and hopefully I can catch up with you guys again very soon.
Cheers, mate.
Cheers.
Thank you.